Despite possessing a rich religious heritage and historical credentials, the Ethiopian Bible remains largely unrecognized within the broader Christian canon. This exclusion raises significant questions about its authenticity and the broader acceptance of religious texts. The Ethiopian Bible includes 81 books, unlike the commonly recognized 66 books in the Protestant Bible, and it comprises both familiar texts from the Old and New Testaments, as well as several unique writings considered canonical only within the Ethiopian Orthodox Church. Historically, the compilation of what we now consider the Bible was fraught with debates and decisions that were influenced by cultural, political, and theological biases. The canonization process began earnestly around 325 AD during the Council of Nicaea, where church leaders sought to standardize the religious texts. This effort was aimed at consolidating Christian doctrine, but also involved omitting numerous writings deemed inconsistent with the emerging orthodoxy. The Ethiopian Bible, written in the ancient Ge'ez language, includes texts that were excluded from the mainstream Bible during these early centuries. Its broader canon features books like the Book of Enoch and the Book of Jubilees, pivotal to understanding early Jewish and Christian mysticism, but considered non-canonical pseudepigrapha by other Christian traditions. These texts, rich with historical and theological insights, offer a glimpse into the diverse interpretations and teachings that characterized early Christian and Judaic thought. As we delve deeper into the reasons behind the exclusion of the Ethiopian Bible from mainstream religious texts, it becomes evident that historical context and theological bias have significantly shaped what many believers read today. The recognition of these texts by the Ethiopian Orthodox Church not only illustrates a distinct theological trajectory, but also underscores the complex interplay between religion, culture, and history in shaping sacred scriptures. The history of the Bible is as complex as the texts themselves, marked by centuries of translations and interpretations. After the early councils like Nicaea and Constantinople, the Bible underwent significant changes that shaped its content and structure. One of the pivotal moments in the history of the Bible was the translation by Saint Jerome, who in the 4th century translated the scriptures from Hebrew into Latin, creating the Vulgate. This version became the Catholic Church's officially promulgated Latin version of the Bible during the 16th century Council of Trent. As Christianity spread, the need to standardize these texts became paramount to prevent heretical interpretations and maintain doctrinal purity. This need led to various councils and scholarly efforts to decide which books were genuinely divinely inspired and which were not. The process was inherently influenced by the socio-political and theological climates of the times. Books that aligned with the emerging orthodox views were included, while others were sidelined or branded as heretical. The Ethiopian Bible, with its broader canon, reflects a different trajectory in the Christian tradition. It preserved books that were excluded by the early church councils and by translators like Saint Jerome. These texts, which include extensive narratives and teachings absent in the narrower canons, offer a broader view of early Christian and Judaic thought and traditions, providing a richer, albeit more complex, panorama of early religious practice and belief. Moreover, the translation and compilation processes in Ethiopia were isolated from the mainstream Christian influences of Europe and the Mediterranean. This isolation helped preserve a version of Christianity that is both unique and ancient, arguably more reflective of the early Christian church's diversity. The Ethiopian church's canon includes texts that may have been widespread and influential in early Christianity, but later excluded in other regions due to various theological and political pressures. Understanding why the Ethiopian Bible was not included in the broader Christian canon involves acknowledging the diverse paths that early Christianity took. The decisions at the councils, influenced by theological debates and the need for a unified doctrine, led to a standardized Bible that reflects only a part of the Christian tradition. The Ethiopian texts, rich with historical and spiritual depth, challenge this standard narrative and invite believers and scholars alike to reconsider the boundaries of the sacred scriptures. The exclusion of the Ethiopian Bible from the mainstream Christian canon is not merely a matter of theological differences or textual discrepancies. It also reflects deeper cultural, political, and ideological divides that have historically influenced religious traditions. The Ethiopian Bible contains several books that are considered pseudepigrapha by other Christian denominations, texts written under assumed identities, often attributed to biblical patriarchs and figures. These include works like the Book of Enoch and the Ascension of Isaiah, which, although influential in early Jewish and Christian mysticism, were excluded from the canon established by the Western churches. The reluctance to accept these texts in the broader Christian canon can be attributed to various factors, including their mystical content, their complex theological implications, and the challenges they pose to established ecclesiastical authority. Moreover, the geopolitical isolation of Ethiopia, coupled with its unique Christian heritage that dates back to the Apostolic Age, meant that its religious texts developed along a distinct path, largely uninfluenced by the theological and political currents that shaped Christianity in Europe and the Mediterranean. This divergence is particularly evident in the way the Ethiopian Church views its scriptures. For Ethiopian Christians, these texts are not merely historical documents, but are living words that continue to define their faith and community practices. The inclusion of these broader texts provides a continuity of a tradition that sees Christianity as deeply intertwined with the social, cultural, and spiritual life of the community. In contemporary times, the discussion around the Ethiopian Bible and its exclusion from the broader canon is also a discussion about the nature of religious authority and the diversity of religious expression within Christianity. It challenges the notion of a monolithic Christian tradition and highlights the rich tapestry of practices and beliefs that have characterized the religion from its inception. As scholars continue to study these texts, and as global communication enhances the sharing of religious ideas, there is a growing recognition of the value of these excluded texts, not only for understanding the historical context of Christianity, but also for appreciating the diverse ways in which faith can be understood and practiced. The Ethiopian Bible stands as a testament to the pluralistic nature of early Christianity, offering a broader, more inclusive view of the Bible's history and its teachings.